Hello again. I'm in quarantine. I've been abroad, I've come home, I've got to spend 2 weeks on the boat, so I'm going to tie up a lot of the loose ends that need finishing. The last video you watched was probably the finished interior of the boat, which it is finished, but one of the major jobs I've still got left to do is I've got to fit some type of boiler to run the central heating and the hot water when I want to use it for that as well. I didn't do it before because I was umming and ahhing as to which actual make of boiler to use, Webasto, Eberspacher, Planner, but I've decided on which one I'm going to use, and I'm going to explain why I made that decision. So I'm going to fit a Planner heater. On the last boat I fitted Webasto heater. I had no problems with it whatsoever, I couldn't fault it. But you pay a little bit more for a Webasto, but you don't mind doing that because supposedly you get good aftercare service. But there's a few people on this marina that have been waiting a long time for follow-up warranty work from Webasto, and it's put me off them slightly. If I'm going to take my chances, I might as well take my chances with a lesser known manufacturer. So I've gone with Planner. Planner have quite a big dealer network in the UK now. They're a Russian sort of copy of a Webasto. I contacted them. They were very, very helpful. Give a WhatsApp number straight away and I can actually literally WhatsApp the guy and ask, is it this, is it this, is it this? And he's got back to me straight away. So I'm going to have a go at fitting it this week and then let you know how I get on. So this is where it's going to go in the engine bay. As you can see, the diesel line's been running and the water return from the radiators is already there, just all ready for the Planner heater to be placed in. Okay, so I ordered the kit 3 days ago. It got shipped 2 days ago and I have it today. So I'm going to quickly run through what they sent me, then go on and hopefully show you how easy or hard it is to install. So this is what I received. That's the main 5 kilowatt heater and bracket. I ordered extra. I ordered a diesel fuel filter, water pump, various fittings and connectors. You do get supplied with a standard pump, but I actually bought the silent running pump, hopefully to get rid of the knocking that we're all used to with Webastos. Skin fitting, really good quality skin fitting. You know, you're spending a bit of money on this stuff, but that's really, really good quality. And all the bells and whistles that hopefully I need to get me all connected. And the one thing that I actually was very specific with Planner about is I want to run it from my hive. And they've told me, and they did mark up, these 2 wires I can run through a contactor which can be activated by my hive, so I can remotely switch my heating on and off from anywhere in the world. Okay, so it's in. It took about, if you were doing it straight off, it'd take about a day to do. It took me a bit longer because I'm in quarantine and there was bits and bobs I needed. I had to get people to go and get me. But I've got it in, I've got it running, and I have to say I'm quite impressed. I had the Webasto Thermo Top C before. It's very similar to that, a lot cheaper, certainly quieter, and I was concerned about the actual kilowatt output, whether it would be big enough for the boat, but to be honest, I've run it and it gets all the radiators in the boat so hot that you can't hold your hand and keep it on the radiator. So it certainly does what I need it to do. So this is the installation here. Fitted some valves here so that if ever I have to take the unit off, if there's a fault or anything, I don't have to drain down the whole system. I can just shut these valves, drain it off and remove it quite easily. Added these 2 valves. These help me drain it off, and also it helps bleeding the air out of the system as well. Most of the stuff you can see here is standard with the kit. The only thing I bought extra was the diesel filter, and I upgraded to the silent fuel pump. And also the skin fitting and a bit of tubing here, but everything else, all the fittings and everything came. Only difficult thing was getting from 22mm plastic onto their rubber hoses. They do give you an insert which goes into the rubber hoses fine, but you've got to fathom out a way to get it into this. I heated the plastic pipe up in hot water, forced the insert in, but then also Sikaflexed and clamped it. So it's held so far, but I don't know if there would be a better way of actually doing that. Now you might remember one of my big things about this heater was I want it to run through my hive. And Planner were very good and very supportive, saying that they actually have 2 wires in the harness which can be wired into a relay or a contactor to give it remote control, so you can turn it on or off with whatever you want through the internet. So that's what I've done. I've put that from the hive contactor into this, and we're going to see if it works now. So what I should be able to do now is go to my hive controller, and if you can see it there, and I press boost. Click, you heard the click. Then you can hear the actual unit start up. And it's certainly a lot quieter than my Thermo Top C Webasto. It used to wake us up in the morning, click, 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 click. You do still get that with this, but much, much quieter. And certainly at the other end of the boat, you can't hear it at all. So 10 out of 10 for a Planner for doing that. Oh, you can just about hear the little click of the pump. And that's me in the engine bay with it. Boring, I know, but some people might actually like to hear the unit start up and go through in sequence and the way it whirs up, so stay with it. One of the things I really like about the Planner is that for all they give me these 2 wires to run it off my hive, I still have my controller here. So that tells me everything I need to know, and I can control it from there, but it also means any error codes, any faults, anything come through on that controller still. When I did it with the Webasto before, I had to replace that with my kind of contactor, whereas I've actually got the beauty of both here. If I want to run it from this, I can run it from this. If I want it from the hive, I can run it from the hive. So it's no problem, and you still have the backup of this just in case your internet's down and the hive ain't working. So that's a real good plus point. In here now with the Planner running at full pelt, you can't hear the click click clicking at all, and it's literally only 6 foot away from me with the engine bay and the door open as well. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up, but if I say, OK Google, turn off heating.
Sure.
You heard the click,
off.
and you can hear the actual unit running down now. So you can control it with your hive, and remember you can control your hive through your Google, so it can be voice activated. You can just tell it to turn the heating on or off or do what you want. And what you can also do as well is, because you've got it connected to the hive and you can use the hive anywhere in the world, you can go to your phone, I click on hive, I look at my heating, and I switch it on, press boost, it clicks, it starts. So it can be a handy thing, particularly if you've been away from your boat for a long time and you're coming back and you want to kind of air it and warm it a little bit before you get there. So it's a nice thing to have, or if you're out and about and you just forgot to put your heating on and you're going to get back and you know the boat's cold. So the Hive, on the last boat I used a Chinese kind of generic thermostat, which was okay, but the Hive is brilliant, you know. And also on the Hive you've got sensors on the boat for security and all sorts of things as well, which I'll show you in another video. Anyway, so one last little footnote, and it's to do with the planner heater, but it's to do with Webasto's or Eberspacher's, them all really. You have to remember the size of these units. They're only small. If you think about your boiler in your house that runs the heating for 12 or 24 hours a day, it's a huge thing. You know, it's probably 10 times the size of a planner heater or a Webasto heater. These heaters are not really designed to be on all day. People put them on and use them all day, then suddenly after sort of 6 weeks say my Webasto ain't working. I don't think they're designed for that. Originally, the original Webastos used to come and you could only put them on for half an hour. They were programmed. After half an hour they would switch off. Now Planner, with their heaters, it's 2 hours, so it can be on for 2 hours, and I could have paid more to have it so it was on continuous. I could have set it to anything, but I've left it set at 2 hours because in my opinion and from my experience, that's all they should be on. Then they should be rested and put back on a bit later, but for me they shouldn't be run continuous. My main purpose of having heating in the boat, i.e. radiators and that, is actually because I can't get up and light that stove at sort of 6 o'clock in the morning so it's nice and warm for when I get up at 8, but I can set the heating to come on at 6 o'clock in the morning so the boat's nice and warm when we get up at 8. So anyway, that was just my experience of these types of heaters and how they should be used. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.